Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And it is good morning. Okay. I interrupted a deep nappy time to present myself to you all here at my usual 2 minutes afternoon, right on time. And I won't be sitting cross-legged this morning. We had a fun night last night. I was jumping up, running around, and that was even after the hockey game. We'll just leave it at that. How is everybody doing? All right, let's see what we got in the chat. Hey, Bex. Oh man, late night. Yeah, ain't no doubt about it. Late night, man. All right, hey, JC. Okay, Merrick's. We're communists as we're not getting swept. Oh, let me tell you, when they made it 2-0, and look, anything can still happen. Do not mistake it. But when Toronto made it 2-0, I was resigned. I was resigned to it. It's like, well, I pointed, in fact, when I got up to lift for the second goal, I pointed to the championship sign, and they can't take that away from us. That they can't take that away. Oh, JC says the analysts and commentators are so bad. Biz refused to talk interview because it was Marchand. Oh, Jesus. That guy, he's an attention whore, that guy. Jeez, man. You're mildly entertaining. But they've had so many. I never really had an issue with them. I didn't really pay much attention to them. And then over the years, they've had 2 or 3 just horrible, not bad takes, but just really bad, wrong information. And I was like, man, I don't know. He seems kind of cocky out of thin air. It seems manufactured. Hey, Colby. Hey, by the way, Colby, I listened to your message. Oh, I responded. I see that, Colby. I don't even remember responding, but I did. It's the other person I got to respond to. Drag racing bold prediction: if Florida wins Game 4, they'll win the series. I can roll with that. I can roll with that. JC says Leafs fans are saying we had puck luck the entire game and that the refs were on our side. They always say the refs were on our side. I mean, even Dangle at the end when he was talking about the penalty at the end of the third period, even he was like, it's the right call because there's certain things you can let go, and then there's certain things that you just can't do. The Lundell thing to the face, they deem that to be a follow through. I hate it, but I tend to agree with it. I kind of agree with that take. Joshua says, I was at the arena last night. The place was jumping when Marchand won this. Yeah, man, it was so much fun. Right? And in terms of the puck luck, there's no team that ever won the cup that didn't get puck luck. 75%. Well, 75% of the playoffs is the work that you do to create the other 25%, which is puck luck. Right? I mean, pucks going off bodies and skates. And what happened in the Winnipeg game. Even though Winnipeg won that game handily. That's playoff hockey, man. Gobler, just wow, Josh. Hopefully they carry over that momentum. Don't say that, Don. Maurice doesn't believe in momentum. So Colby, isn't Donna a Caps fan? She's a new hockey fan. She started watching hockey a couple years ago because she was single for the first time in a long time. Started watching hockey, got into hockey. She lives over there on that side of the bridge. So it's only natural that she would like to watch the Caps. So she likes the team, but it's not like a dyed in the wool. It's not like us where, fans since day one and everything like that. So it's not hard for her to root for the Panthers to do well, but at the same time in her bracket, she chose divorce instead of picking Panthers over Caps. So there's that. I hear you, JC. Luckily, we don't hear it that much because we're doing our own commentating. Or is that JC? Are you talking about the guys on TV or Kyle and I? because that I'm sure that sentence could be applied to Kyle and I. It's disgusting how blatant the bias is. Tommy says, well, I think Maurice can probably finally trust to play Lundell's. Well, they did that, apparently. Apparently, that's what happened there for a little bit of time, was they put that lineup against Matthews. Yeah, I appreciate that, David. Hey, Coop. Hey, thank you, Bex. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Bex. Says a thought. And if we aren't able to re-sign Bennett due to the cost, if Bennett walks, we re-sign Marchand, pump that third line up to the second line. Thoughts? I have no problem with Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Lundell, Luostarinen, and Marchand, if that's how you had to go. And then you would have Sam Miskevich probably just burying other teams on that third line. So if that happened, Bex, that's a really good point. If that happened, I feel Lundell's proven he can handle 2C at this point. And if you could get a 3C in his place, that gives us, a helpful advantage as well. And we'd have the money for that if we had to let Bennett go. You'd have Sam Miskevich right there next to him, because you're not going to break up Lundell and Luostarinen. And that's the only question is, can Luostarinen get you enough goals on the second line? I think we know Lundell and Marchand could. And would Marchand want to go a whole season in the top six? Would he be able to keep that up? Colin says the refs are on the Panther side, even though the Leafs have more power plays than the Cats. I mean, there's calls that happen, right? It goes both ways. There was a couple of times, there's at least twice a game when I'm like, oh, crap. And then we're like, oh, they're not going to call that? Okay. But it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Just, you guys know I prefer to just not have the calls, David, yeah, he says, good, cool to see Bob tell the guys no problem after each one, right? Keymaster says the resident swaggy complainer happy to take the day off. Yeah, look, he may not be putting the puck in the back of the net, but nobody can complain about his effort. He's hitting people. He's been really responsible on defense. I mean, he's not saying it. He's not saying like, I wanted to pick up my game because I'm not scoring. He said yesterday because he's been watching Bennett so much, which that's an interesting comment. Hey, Matthew. Yeah, great win. JC says, I can live with the re-signing Marchand and Lou letting Bennett walk. However, I like them being on the third line. Right. Yeah, there wouldn't be any third or fourth line that could contend. I agree. And that's what we've been saying all year is Bennett kind of holds us. Bennett keeps us having that massive advantage on the third line. Yeah, we're homers for sure. Is Swaggy back? I mean, he put one in, right? I think he's got to get he contributed heavily to the overtime goal. So I think we're close to that territory. You know what I mean? We still need one more, like there's 1 minute left in the game and he breaks the tie and wins the game for him to get complete Swaggy back. It might be Swaggy V2. JC says we cannot change the fourth line. No, if they change the fourth line, I'm going to fly down there and wring Maurice's neck myself. That you just can't. It was so much. I don't know what the numbers were in the face-off circle. Somebody can blast this to bits if it's not true, but it appeared to be so much better. Just the actual play of that fourth line. True. Yeah, about the Leaf fans. I know every podcast we're just play dirty out to hurt players. I mean, I don't know what to say. The Panthers aren't even the worst example of some of these big bad teams. And hockey is so different now, too. It's like I kind of believe a lot of that's young kids who never saw hockey in the 80s and the 90s. especially the 90s. In the 90s, if you actually literally decapitated a guy on the ice, if you could sew his head on before the ref caught on to it, not even 2 minutes. Michael says, I don't know. I'm usually neutral, but with the ref's high stick on Lundell was right in front of the ref, and the Carlo goal was so blatantly over the goal line, no way the ref didn't see that. The Lundell thing, they deemed that a follow through. And I'll be honest, Michael, when I saw the replay, that's kind of what I thought. It was iffy, sketchy for it to be a follow through. He was swinging at the puck with the stick. I don't know what the exact rule there is, but if I'm being honest, if that was a Panther player that did that, I would be screaming it was a follow through. So to be fair there. Kachukton says, I'm telling you, a deep sea fishing boat is all it will take to keep Marchand in Florida. I bet. Kanye says, well, where do you play Kachuk? Then he's taking next year off. Kachuk is going to have surgery in the off season, and then he's going to take a long nap and be on the LTIR for the entire year and come back for game 1 of the playoffs. Now, I'm completely making that up, but if there's any dude that needs to do that, it's him. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it, especially if we go through and win again. If he he has a sports hernia and he plays all the way through and we win the cup and he plays that many games, I mean, the surgery is just going to be nasty. So I get your point. I left Kachuk off of that top 6 there. But I just don't think you want to break up Lundell Luosterainen. You'd want to at least try that, but Kachuk's got to just sit, take a year off. Michael says, Swaggy's not back. He had an empty net goal, and many shots haven't been on net. He put one in, though, right? Was it yesterday or the game before? Was it yesterday or the game before? He put one in in front of the net. I could have sworn I remember that. I just realized Jeff Skinner played 1,078 regular season games to finally reach the playoffs, only to be a healthy scratch after his very first postseason game. Oh, man. Guitar says, yeah, all 3 games have been high-scoring, 1-goal games. We should see. My call would be a low-scoring game 4 because that was 2 games. That was how the Panthers played until Toronto made it 3-1. And then we finally started playing Panthers hockey. And the only other goal Toronto got the rest of the night was an own goal. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Frank. He says, seek Kachuk down as he's contributing nothing. The shenanigans after the whistles need to stop. I put out a short about that. Might even give the Leafs momentum. Chucky is a waste of ice, just like the 4 Nations. Well, I mean, before yesterday's game, I was kind of hoping he was one of the guys that was going to be out with injury. He did look better yesterday in terms of contributing in the offensive zone. His puck handling was better. His passes weren't off, etc. But defensively, damn. I mean, he's a massive liability on the ice. And he was already just barely adequate defensively, right? He already could barely skate as it is. The problem with taking him off the ice is who? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you do there because you've already moved. Let's face it. Lundell Luosterainen and Marchand's already the second line right now. You know what I mean? I don't know how they're spacing out in terms of ice time and everything. But that's already happened right now in part because of Kachuk. And Rodriguez really isn't producing a whole lot. So I just don't know who you put out there. The only guy that we have to put in his spot is Boquist. And the difference, You know what I mean? It's like, it's a tough call. Thank you again, Frank. Michael says, sign Marchand for 2 years and get rid of Ekblad. I don't care if Bennett has been producing the last 3 years. I don't know. I would prefer to sign Bennett, no doubt. It's just a matter of, at this point, what we're all hopeful for is that he just doesn't want to sign the contract during the playoffs. And as soon as the season's over, then he'll sign the contract. Because they've been negotiating for a while. And our general consensus around here, with my exception, is pay him $6 or $7 million. And my thing is, if he wants to, if you have to give him $8 million to sign him for 4 years, I do it. So either they just didn't want to sign the contract during the season, or they got a negotiation problem. Yeah, Keem Asher, I agree. He says, I want to see Swaggy ding one in the corner from his office at least once to be convinced. Right. Ghost Slayer says, I think we need to keep Ekblad. We give him a hard time, but he's a top-tier defenseman when he's not being a traffic cone. Yeah, that to me is the biggest confusing question mark in terms of getting Seth Jones. Because we were already kind of like, do we have the money for Bennett and Ekblad? And now you have to keep Jones. So, and they were still, the writing could be on the wall. They got Jones and they started immediately negotiating with Bennett. The only thing that says to me is they're going to let Ekblad walk, or Ekblad has already told them, if you only have like $5 left, I'll take it. I want to stay. I don't care about the money. One of those two things to me seems logically like that's what's going on. JC about Tkachuk. Yeah, no, he doesn't have full range of motion. He's shoveling the puck. Matthew says, what would I pay Brad? I'm going to assume he'd want, I'm going to say 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marchand said he wanted 3 years. I don't know. Like, he could have stayed in Boston for 6 or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what we'd have to pay him. I certainly wouldn't mind giving him Rodriguez's money. Let's just start there. No offense to Rodriguez, but if you can move Rodriguez and sign Marchand for Rodriguez's money, you do it now in the middle of the playoff. You know what I mean? But how much of a discount does Marchand want to take to stick around? Some of that might have to do with if Bennett resigns. Because if Bennett doesn't resign, that puts a damper on what Marchand might believe is going to be the Panthers' ability to keep making long runs. And yeah, so 4x4, that's what Tkachuk is saying. 4 might be a little bit long in term for him, but if he's willing to sign a contract and we could pull it off, it would just be, if he could stay with Lundell and Luosterainen, that line is, it reminds me a little bit of when Bennett and Huberdeau first got together, where it was just like, damn. Drew says in the 70s, the players would climb over the glass to fight a fan. All right. JC says it's not follow through because the puck was in the air. That by definition in the rule book is a swat at the puck. Yeah, that's where I wasn't sure about, JC, was the exact rule. Yeah. Hey, Eric. Tkachuk says Chucky full year LTIR is not out of the question. Why not? The one dude, who was it for Landeskog, just took 2 years off, right? Obviously, we know he didn't take it off. He was hurt. But, if there's anybody that should just sit down and train and get stronger and get healthy, it's Tkachuk. You know what I mean? You're talking next season, especially if we win again. If we go that far, the guy's groin's going to be ruined. Oxnam says, hey, Jaws, everyone's talking about how the Panthers could be 0-3. Nobody's talking about how it could be Cats up 2-1. Hey, and if if Marchand scores on Bobrovsky, none of this happens, right? Game 5, right? If Marchand scores on Bobrovsky, nothing. None of this might happen at all. There's no run to the cup. There's no redemption because we lost the cup. And that's hockey, man. Colin said, yeah, no Olympics for Chicken Chuck. Good God. So, Matthew, we don't have a official diagnosis. The assumption is that it's a groin sports hernia type of thing. Most of the guys that have played and are watching him skate, they kind of feel like that's the injury. But the team has never come out officially and said exactly what it is. David says, if Ekton with Domi, did he get 2 games? Our guys are just so tough, it doesn't look as bad. He left his feet and hit the head with this stick. Oh, the Domi, right. Yeah, the Domi one, yeah. IDK says, no way we're winning the cup. I would be content with beating the Leafs. I mean, I understand that sentiment, IDK, but right now I won't say no way for this team for anything. Not right now. It's just a matter of how much gas they've got left in the tank. Yeah, exactly, Communist. He needs to enjoy the margaritas, right? Trey says if Bennett walks, you're not keeping Lundell at 3C and trying to find a 2C. Lundell would be centering Tkachuk and Mackey, which that line would be gas, and you're finding a 3C for E2 and Marchand. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like breaking up Lundell and E2. You're not wrong. God help us if they try to put Boquist there. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And which version of Tkachuk are we getting? Are we getting the I'm fine to play version? The dude needs to sit for a while. I don't want to see him at the very least until after the Olympics next year, and he's not allowed to go. John says, what do we think about mixing up the first and the second line players? Well, that's what they did last night, but they swapped for Hagee and Rodriguez last night. That's really the only move to make there. You're not going to break up Rockhoff and Reinhart. That's too important, our defensiveness there. The problem is Chucky, like what you're saying. Chucky's a liability, unfortunately. I see that, Trey. Unless we want to trade for Sid. Oh my God. That's not bad. Coot says a comment under Dangle's video mentioned it could be worrying for them with the amount of wear and tear on their D-men from all the hits. Hopefully for the Cats, it becomes tangible as the series is going on. You guys, any of you seen that short that was out? It was Maurice yelling at the guys on the bench, and he was telling them to pound it so they had nothing left come Game 7. So this right now is shaping up to be the Paul Maurice dream series. The one against Edmonton was not. You don't want to lose 3 straight. But this right here, this is turning into the Paul Maurice dream series, where his team just stays in the fight, keeps it close, scratches and claws to Game 7, and the other team is just beat to a pulp. And the problem with that is that let's say Panthers win this one in 7 the way this series has been. What could we possibly have left in the gas tank for Washington or Carolina, especially at this point? Well, like you said, just beat the Leafs, right? Yeah, I didn't even read what Tkachuk said. Yeah, I don't care about winning the cup, just breaking the Leafs. The Leafs are good right now. Guitarist, Toronto just too fast. How come the Panthers aren't playing their usual style? Well, they got back to their usual style middle of the game yesterday, which is why you only saw the one more goal. It's a combination of Toronto's speed and the Panthers they weren't putting in the work. The forwards weren't putting in the work to just dump the puck and go win the board battles. And and the Leafs were taking the transitions too far, too fast. The D were pinching too much. And so, you seen the one breakaway last night, right? Bob stopped it. No, what was the one that Verhaeghe got the holding penalty on? I mean, we're just letting guys go right past us, but we're standing still puck watching a lot of times when it's happening. Who was saying they're much better in every way? Did somebody get a comment deleted? Hey, Rosado. Oh, Stu was on TV. What, at the game? Yeah, good for him. Lewis, am I surprised Barkov didn't score yet in overtime? Nah, that's not his. I mean, he's done it some, but that's not his thing, especially in overtime. His main job is to make sure nobody else scores. Case, yeah, man, everybody's heart for sure. I know, right? Nosek. That's that. I don't want to see. I was just getting ready to say I don't want to see Sturm on the ice, and Case says I don't want to see Boquist skate again. Unfortunately, we gave Boquist an extension in the middle of this year. I don't know what Zito was smoking on that day, but now we got that guy for 2 years at 1.5. He's made some interesting moves this year. Not complaining about it, but the Jones thing. I don't know. It's the only way you keep an Ekblad and Bennett with and Jones, and if you wanted to re-sign Marchand, somebody's going to have to go. Maybe you could package Rodriguez and Boquist together to get $5 million or whatever in cap freed up, but that's a lot of depth you're trading away too. You better hope Sordiff and Puljujarvi can carry your water for you. Exactly, Case. No matter what happens in this series, we're Cup champs. Michael says Nosek had the same ceiling as Luosterainen. Interesting. Brian, now we get to the game that worries me the most. Game 4 after a Game 3 win. So many teams dropped the second home game trying to come back after being down 0-2. Yep. We can't be screwing around. The bad starts have got to stop. There was that twice in this series we've given up a goal in the first 45 seconds of the game. Goop says, I'd like to stay focused on the current playoffs. Glad to see the fourth line change. At least they've been playing tough. Kudos to them. We need the beatings to continue until the Leafs give up. Oh, it's going to be a long series. Yeah, Occam, yes. The hit on Tanev with Verhaeghe is definitely, he said in the press conference, I'll say it again, he said that he's learning from watching Bennett play. And if you think about it, Verhaeghe's got the speed. He can score. He certainly can make many of the same moves that Bennett could make. That's one of the things that was just missing from Verhaeghe's game. And I'm all for it because that was everybody's big complaint about Verhaeghe was defensive liability, doesn't really do anything. And that's changed. That's a good thing to see. Trey says, I honestly don't think Rodriguez has a spot on next year's team. And that will clear up some space a little bit. Yeah. Michael says, everyone signs a 1-year deal until the next cap raise. I know, Case, about the humility. I get it. It would be like Dolphin fans talking shit. You know what I mean? It's like, we haven't won a playoff game since Kyle was in diapers. That's true. Right? We didn't win one. Did we win one with Wannstedt a couple years later? So I can't remember. He might have been in pull-ups. Chucky said, Chucky says, Chucky is spending a lot of time on LTR. Next season, we have the space. Well, he'd have to spend the whole season on LTIR if we were actually going to use his space. This is my back scratcher. Ugh. I got hard well water here. My back itches a lot. Case says, Toronto is feeling it right now. We've been doubling their hits every game. Eventually, that's going to catch up to them. They had the series in their hand last night. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win, but it's 3-1, and they had us down 0-2. And it's just right there. And right there. They get one more goal, and now it's 4-1, and the series is 0-3, and it's crickets. It's done at that point. That's how close they were to winning that series last night. Joe says, let's not act like fans aren't allowed to be fans and love the games and the fact that their team is playing well. Oh, certainly no complaints that way from me. What was this? Somebody said, Eric said swatting of pucks in the air is not considered a follow-through per the rules. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one thing I wasn't sure on. Then I don't know, because that's what they said. That's what Maurice said, that he was told that they considered it a follow-through. So I guess the ref didn't know the rule. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Joe, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, man. I'm an older dude, so I like the older style of hockey. David says, Domi left his feet and targeted the head, which I'm cool with. Just don't cry when we knock the crap out of him back. Yeah, I mean, look, that stuff happens in the playoffs. For me, I'm just like, let it go. What's the point? What's the point of playing 82 games to get to the playoffs if we're just going to see the same style of hockey in the playoffs that we see in the regular season? The NHL survives because of the elevated competition and a lot of that rough stuff that happens in the playoffs. If it wasn't, like NBA basketball for the most part, from what I've seen and heard, right? They've just got a bigger fan base, but the playoffs aren't really all that much. You see a little bit more action, but with hockey, it's two different sports. Regular season hockey and playoff hockey is two different sports. And it has to stay that way for the league to survive. That's what draws people in, is you get 2 months, at least 2 months, of just brutality on ice. That's what makes it so beautiful. Kachuk says, why is trading Bob not an option? Nah, he's not. Bob's getting extended. But it won't be long before you might start to see. I don't think we'll see Cooper Black as the backup next year, but you might consider going into the season with him at 3. He might get a game or 2 next year if you want to see that, because we do need to start at least, getting a general idea if him or the kid from Russia that people have been telling me about is going to be a viable Bob replacement in a couple of years. I think you'll see a Bob extension this offseason. Eric says, we got a taste of how they can play during that second period. If they can replicate this all the way in game 4, we might just pull off the comeback. Yeah. CJ says, do you think we can get back to 2-1 scores? Not sure we can get out of this series needing 4+ goals. I think we did, CJ. The above comment, I think we did. Because all of a sudden, once it got down to 3-1, then we started leaving the 2 defensemen back and playing our style. The D-men stopped pinching, and lo and behold, we got 3 goals. Hey, Sergey, what? I heard. Oh, my God. Yeah. He's going to need surgery in that general vicinity. That's for sure. Exactly, Icy, right? That too, guitar. Chucky needs to just chill. Fett, what's funny, Fett, is that, when the goal happened and I start running, the dude that was in front of the net was Verhaeghe. So I thought maybe it had originally deflected off him. So I almost said Verhaeghe in overtime, and then Kyle was like, it's Marchand. Is Marchand. I thought for a second it might, but I mean, Verhaeghe helped make the play. He was standing right there. But the fact that it went off the defenseman. JC says, imagine a world where we re-sign Bennett and Marchand. Chucky takes the LTIR. Zito makes moves and does magic to bring in Brady. And now picture the playoffs with two Chucks, Benny, and Marchand. Jesus. Okay, I'm sold. I'm sold there. Oh my God. The league would shut down. The Canadian teams would forfeit. They would not forfeit. They would strike. They would go on strike if that happens. If Chucky said I'm out for the year. The problem at that point, well, no, what? We could do that too, JC, because I was going to say the problem with that point is the next year, but the Bob's $10 million comes off the books. I know it's playtime, but I'm just saying, if Bob decided to he'd stick around for $2 million, you could legitimately pay that lineup. Kate says, Vegas, please, for the love of God, get your ish together and beat Edmonton. I don't think it's going to happen. Case, yeah, we've talked about that before, where his shooting percentage is way down, his accuracy. He got married. That's it. He's shooting a shot elsewhere. Hey, RC. I agree with you about Rodriguez, John. Yeah. Communist, which one? I've already forgotten if I said something. So my brain. Yeah, Joe says Leaf fans have a good reason to hate McCauley. It's got nothing to do with Florida, that game. Yeah, no. For us, it's the other guy. I forget his name for the Panthers and Maurice. Oh, what's the ref's name? You guys are going to know it. I said it a couple days ago too. I forget the guy's name. Scrolling down to the bottom for the comments. Oh, is Matthew here? Hey, MJ. How you, bud? I'm not seeing him, bud. I'm way behind on the chat. I'm talking. I get for you guys that don't know, when I'm looking at StreamYard, I have it blown up so I can see the chat. So I only see like 3 or 4 comments at a time. So if I'm answering a comment, I'm not seeing what's going on in the chat below me until I scroll down. So I'm way behind. I didn't even know MJ was here. That's how behind I am. Hey, MJ, thank you, brother. There we go. Jeez, that was 8 minutes ago. You guys got to tell me when I get too behind, but then I wouldn't know it because I don't see it. I'm just going to have to get better glasses. Thank you, MJ. Happy Saturday, Jaws. Oh, my God. How about that Cats comeback in overtime, Brad Marchand? Amazing game. That's what I'm talking about. Headlines in a moment. You might know some of them already. Thank you, MJ. Yeah, when I have to have the chat, because I don't want to sit here and be like, like this the whole time. So I blow up and I can only see like 3-4 comments at once. Yeah, I was way behind. Y'all are probably wondering what the hell he's talking about. I'll try to do better. It's a we have a lot of people here, right? It's a good stream when the chat's going too fast for me. What I need LASIK so I can see again. When I started off this season, I could see, I didn't need my glasses, and now I need them for everything. Hey, Simon. All right. I do believe they'll tie this series tomorrow, Simon. I do believe they're going to get this sucker tied up. I think you win game 4, we'll lose 5. Win 4, lose 5, win 6 and 7. No, that's not what I was thinking. Somehow we're going to end up in Game 7 winning in Toronto. I don't know how it's going to happen. Hey, Paul, how you doing, bud? Yeah, you told me Boquist shouldn't be in the lineup, right? Hey, Simon. So I did get to the gym yesterday. It's cold. It's cold. Can't go fishing today. I mean, it's only going to be a high of like 65 or something. It got really cold last night. So let's be honest here on the weekend. I might take Leia down to the river, though. All right, let's get back to the bottom. Okay, here we go. All right. So I'm on the bottom of the chat. I'm on the bottom of the chat now. David says if we win Game 4, it's over in 6. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Real says just bring Adam back and Jesper will start scoring again. He stopped scoring the same week we cut his brother. Isn't that something, though? Right? Holy crap. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Outstanding. Holy crap. See, thank you, brother. Thank you. I can't even speak at this point. Damn. Thank you, my man. Hell yeah. Thank you. That'll wake me up. That was worth waking. I was cracking the joke at the beginning of the stream because I was a little bit groggy. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, man. Yeah, I got to I need some new spoons. I'm running low, so that actually helps. Because I forget how many spoons I lose during the year because I just use these little spoons about this big, but they're like $4 a piece. And you get stuck on a lot of logs out there at the river, and you forget over the course of a year. And then next winter comes, and it's like, damn, I need another $50, $75 in spoons. But I only use those spoons out there because it's the one where I can catch anything on. I catch the catfish, the bass, and the perch, and the carp will actually hit those spoons. So thank you. Much appreciated, bud. Oh, boy. Okay, what do we got? I want to make sure. Dana says the Jets play before the Panthers tomorrow. Let me look at the schedule. That's a good question. So now for this, I gotta look at I want to look at the schedule so I have an idea of what games we're doing here. Obviously, we're doing Caps and Canes today. That it's if Kyle wants to stay up and do Knights and Oilers himself, he can. Tomorrow is just the 2 games, so yeah, I don't see any reason why. We probably will do Jet Stars, or we might do the end of that. I'll have to talk to Kyle. It depends on what Kyle does tonight. If Kyle stays up tonight to do Knights and Oilers on his own, he probably won't want to do Jet Stars. So I'll let him pick which one of those games that we're going to do. And then obviously Caps and Canes this afternoon. So everybody get ready to take a nice nap this afternoon during Caps and Canes for sure. All right, let me scroll back here because I think hey, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, bud. Yeah, more spoons. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I get the notification on my phone for them to I wait for them to be usually buy 2 get 1 free. It's a good deal. Thank you, brother. All right, here we go. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, bud. I saw that. Thank you, man. It says sports headlines. Derek Carr retires. Stolar's progressing from injury. That's good. Jason Dominguez, youngest Yankee ever to hit 3 home runs in a game. He's 20. Ken Holland might be the Kings' new GM. And Bill Belichick, girlfriend not banned at UNC. I don't know anything about the Belichick story. I saw a headline, and I'm like, nope. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to think about Bill Belichick and whatever he's doing with a girl. You know what I mean? No. I can't even think about that. Thank you, MJ. But yeah, I saw that this morning that Derek Carr retires. So I wonder if Kyle will knock on the door and give me that notice. Oh, was somebody asking about yeah, I don't know anything about the Pope. I'm not gonna pretend to know anything about that stuff. Eric says Bob has yet to have a standing on his head performance this series. He's due. I agree. Matthew, I have eaten the catfish in the past. The last several years, I haven't eaten them because I didn't really need the extra food. Money was fine. And then last year, I just didn't want to take the time to clean them. This year, as soon as the catfish are in, I'll be down there every night catching dinner. I'll be down there a lot catching dinner this year because we can go down there once it warms up enough. Once the catfish come in mid-June until basically like the first week of October, I can go down there anytime I want with the tide being right and catch enough for dinner. Kachukkin says, real talk, though, if the Cats tie to series, how much crap are we getting about knocking Stolars out? I mean, Wool has really been good. He really has. But, yeah, we'll hear it. There's no way around it. We'll hear it. Dave says, Bill's doing well. A girl younger than Kyle. Man. Jeez. He's better than Kraft at massage parlors, right? Belichick's wife is hot. Trey says it's our third Pope since the Sabres last made the playoff. Oh. So Simon says, in my opinion, who would I want, Edmonton or Winnipeg series? I have no interest that the Panthers make it to the Stanley Cup Finals playing Edmonton again. None. Like none. Zero at all. So there's the answer to that. Winnipeg and Dallas. It's interesting. The one thing we can say about Florida right now is that our fear that we weren't going to be able to score goals has kind of gone away. The offense has definitely woken up, except the 4 goals a game is a problem. But if you ask me who I'm rooting for, I'd rather see Dallas win that. Kachuk, why is there no video of Marchand's mom reacting to the winner yet? Case says Reagan needs to work on his shooting accuracy. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like I said, he got married. Now he can't shoot straight. Dana says the Jets aren't willing to lose this series yet. They might be bringing a bigger problem for Dallas than expected. We might be seeing an Edmonton-Winnipeg conference final. Wouldn't that be something? Matthew, I do not like crabs. Well, I should take that back. I don't dislike crabs, but I don't go out of my way to catch them or eat them. It's too much work. Bluefish are okay if you eat them the day that you catch them. They're a little bloody. They get a little bit of a strong taste. I kind of like the whiter fish a little bit more. Like mackerel is about as oily as I like my fish. But if you fry up the bluefish the day you get them, they're pretty good. Certainly I wouldn't throw them away if I was hungry. But bluefish, yeah, I used to catch all day. Trying to read Simon. Do I throw them back or deal with them? So most of them, if it's a bass, I throw it back. The carp, you throw it back. The perch, every once in a while, I'll keep. If it's a day where I'm catching some good-sized perch, I'll keep them and fry them up in coconut oil. They're really good. Hey, thank you, MJ. Thank you, MJ. It says, world headlines, we have a new pope. Leo the 14th, he's from your town in Chicago. Yeah, India and Pakistan agree to a ceasefire. Earthquakes in Tennessee and Georgia. Taylor Swift subpoenaed in the Black Lively case. Jeez, I'm glad I don't pay attention. I'm glad I don't pay attention. Like I said, you're talking about India and Pakistan, they'd be dropping the nukes and I'd have to come here and get my news and find out about it. Like, Jaws, why are you live? The nukes are going to be dropped in a half hour. I didn't know. Yeah, that's it. It's the Pope Taylor Swift crossover, Mythical. Thank you again, MJ. Thank you, Matthew. Wow, I'm picky. Well, I grew up eating because my dad, we would go fishing to the pier every weekend, Matthew. And back then, we would have fish no matter what, 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week, because we'd catch so much fish during the week. So I acquired a taste in being a little bit picky. Valtzu, how you doing, bud? Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds' wife. Yeah. Well, there we go. Archie says, here's the open. The Cats found their winning sauce and didn't shoot their whole energy in one game. I mean, we've seen them play like this before, right? Where they got to in the second period. The third period, we shut them down, and the puck. I mean, Bob makes the save, and he's just clearing it out, and he puts it right off of Seth Jones and in the net. And that's the only reason that game went to overtime, I believe. I think we would have held them down. We were doing a damn good job. And that gives me a lot of hope for if the tide of the series has turned. And it could have just been that the team realized, hey, we're down 0-2, and now we're down, 3-1 in the game. And are we done? Like, they might have just, as a collective, as a group, just been like, are we done? Do we quit or not? Because one more goal for Toronto in that situation is pretty much over, right? They go up 4-1, and there was a few minutes. There's a couple minutes there after they made it 3-1 where it's like, because at 4-1, and I start lifting, and it's like, well, not good. MJ, yeah, the game 3 definitely gave us a massive boost of confidence. Toronto's good. I think Toronto's better than these players thought they were going to be. That definitely, to me, seems like some of what's going on. And we got to stop. We got to stop giving up leads, right? I mean, I know last night the way they scored the game-tying goal. Technically, I mean, Bob makes a save. Silva says if it's 4-1, we start shaving the playoff beards. It's funny, Silva, after I lifted when they made it 3-1, and I walked around and I was sitting down as I was walking past Donna. That's what she says. She says, well, at least you'll get to shave your beard soon, so it won't be all big and bushy. That's the exact comment that she made. I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Then he says, oh, you're talking about Blake Lively. I got you. Yeah, I don't watch any of the shows. I haven't. I'll date myself really quick. The last TV show that I watched, we're going to sit down and watch a show. It's like on a regular basis. The last TV show I watched like that was Ally McBeal. That's how long ago I stopped watching television. Through My Eyes says, do you have an opinion on the studio panel on TBS or the quality coverage during the game, specifically the zoomed-in camera angles that miss most of the puck movement? What I can say is we don't hear a whole lot of the commentary a lot of times because we're streaming. But what irritates the hell out of me is the production managers of these broadcasts, and it's across the board. You'll hear the crowd screaming and yelling over something's going on. There's like a scrum going on, and they'll just be showing a picture of some random player just like skating back to the bench that has nothing to do with what the crowd is getting agitated about. And it takes them forever. It takes them forever to switch to the new camera. That's my biggest gripe is the production managers they're terrible. Hey, MJ, thank you, bud. He says, should we do a Tom Grossi style raid on Steve Dangle's streams? Would he notice? Would he notice? Like, and I say that with love, but like, if he's got like 5,000 people and 100 of us raided his channel, like, would he even see it? You know what I mean? Like, a raid usually is only successful in reverse, where we've got 100 people and all of a sudden 2,000 show up. Like, I don't know if they would even see us. They might, and I don't know. Trey says Jaws was Lucy Liu earlier. I was on Lucy Liu. No comment. No comment there. Not at all. Not at all. No problem there at all. Yeah, Allie McBeal. That's how old. Yeah, that's the last show that I watched on a regular basis. Yep. Also says, do you think the Panthers could close it in 6? Did the Panthers play better overall? You're from Finland, so I can't watch them play that much since the games are played at night. Gotcha. It was 2 games last night. It was 2 games. It was 3-1 Leafs in the second period, and it looked bad. And then something changed, whether it's Maurice made some changes. The team figured it out, however you want to word it. But then for the rest of the game, the Panthers looked like the Panthers playing shutdown defense and 2 defensemen back and not making stupid mistakes. If they can play like that, they got to get game 4. They got to get game 4, and they got to keep getting some bounces. But do I think we can win it in 6? That's a tall task. That's a tall task. Because that means we'd have to beat Toronto in the first time where they could be eliminated. And this Toronto team seems different to me. I would think that if we got it to 3-2 lead, I would think it wouldn't surprise you to see us lose game 6 at home and then win game 7 on the road. I don't know either one of these 2 teams is going to get eliminated the first time out, which generally means a game 7, right? Simon, I think I'm at 75%. Donna's at like 88% right now. But mainly that's because I picked Montreal because I'm a smartass. MJ says Dangle doesn't know most of us anyway. Yeah, he didn't. He said he didn't know who I was, so that's cool. Trey said, "Who is fake Allie McBeal fan?" Yeah, we can't get ahead of ourselves, right, MJ? Danny says, yeah, he wouldn't notice at all, right? Unfortunately. Real says, I had us winning in 6, but I didn't think we'd lose both to start. So if we win the series, it's going to be 7. I agree. Hi, babe. What's Donna agreeing with? 7? Hey, Andrew. Oh, yeah, Donna. Oh, you're talking about your bracket. Yeah, 88%. Yeah. She's very vocal about having such a good bracket. It's very interesting. It's a shame that she picked. It's really a shame that she picked Washington to beat Florida in the next round because I thought we were going to get married, but apparently not. So, hey, thank you, MJ. Thank you, bud. Thank you, MJ. Says another one. You brought up Allie McBeal. If you could bring back anyone's show for a reboot, which one would it be? Cheers. That's an easy call for me, but that's my age group. Cheers. Just give me Norm all day long. Yeah. Cheers. Exactly, David. Yeah, just one at a time, right? Yeah, Cheers was such an easy show to watch. Yeah. Leia. I'm happy to report this, although I won't tell you all the exact circumstances. Leia, she laid on her bed last night for a while instead of being in the bed with us. It was shocking. It was shocking. David says, yeah, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, but if that's a pub, then you need AA. But great show. MJ, you went to the beer where Cheers was filmed in Boston? That's cool. Yeah, send me a picture. That's cool. Valser says Lundell seems like he's having a great playoffs when looking at the points. He's been getting better and better and better. I mean, we signed him to that contract, has good Bennett insurance. Hopefully Bennett resigns. That's all we could say. Yeah, through my Norm. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and I'm wearing milk bowl and underwear. Yeah. Oh, you met Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen at the I just lost my chat. That's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Walter, yeah, because he's playing on that third line, right? David, your favorite show was Frasier, and that came from Cheers, right? Sat at Norm's spot. That's cool. Yeah, I never been to Boston. I've never been to Boston, so that's okay. I'm not looking for any road trips right now. Guitarco says still waiting for that 1-2 game. Yeah, the Maurice style. I think that's what we saw in the second half of that game, except for the fact that we scored 3 goals, right? But once we made it 4-3, we shut it down. I know they tied the game, but it was such a fluke. Oh, Gator Tooth, your favorite show was In Living Color. So when I was in the Air Force at tech school, it's like basically like college, but you're in the military. We'd be in the rec room most nights, and it would be the Simpsons, and then it would be In Living Color. Hey, Robert, how you doing, bud? He says, sorry, boys, we're all done fooling around with you. 5-1 Leafs tomorrow, and we're done in 5. Wow, Robert, with the cojones. Damn. Butter me up a little bit first before you're going to smack me around. Oh, man. Yeah, Fire Marshal Bill in Living Color. That was a great show. I wrote a song about it. Here it goes. Yep. Oh. That's cool, Robert. It's fun to have confidence in your team, right? Robert, it was right there, the series was right there. You had a 3-1 lead. We handed it to you. We literally said, here, you guys want this? You guys want this? And you said, nah, we'll save it for another time. I'm just saying. That's like letting the Chiefs off the mat. You know what I mean? It's like leading the Chiefs by 2 touchdowns, and then you throw a pick 6 when you didn't even need to be throwing the ball. Simon says, this is my favorite music group. Oh, that's easy. It's Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates, Matchbox 20, Elton John. Standard issue, older stuff. Anything from the 70s. OJ's, Temptations, Spinners. I like the Spinners a lot. Billy Paul. What's my finals prediction? Well, my bracket, it's funny. My bracket is Panthers and either the Jets or the Knights. And the reason why I don't remember is because I don't remember who I did first. And then I screwed it up and I redid it and I did the other team. And I don't remember if the final bracket was Vegas or Jets. I think it was Winnipeg. I think I originally picked Vegas, and then I accidentally screwed up that bracket and had to pick it back. And I think the second one was Winnipeg. You want work for the Simpsons, Andrew? That's cool. That's cool. Robert says, no, you guys brought it in the second. Too much for the Leafers. Well, we'll see. Game 4 is huge, man. If we get that series tied, MJ, yeah, the Chiefs probably go through a real rebuild at some point here. She was working at the bank machine. Okay, Led Zeppelin, that's a good one, yeah. I thought Kelsey was ready to retire. David's got Van Halen, The Doors, Ozzy, MJ's U2. Van Halen was good. Poison, The Who. David Rat, Dokken, Rat. That's the group I was talking about. Yeah, Don and I were talking about that the other day. I couldn't remember the name of the other group. It was like Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot, and Rat. That was the other. Yeah, when the circus would come to town in my neighborhood, and the rides would all play the hard rock music, and they played that album over and over again, like for 2 weekends in a row. I remember that. Think Reed's going to retire. He's got to retire at some point, right? What do we got? Hey, thank you again, MJ. Thank you again. So Donna says it's Winnipeg versus my finals. Can't be Winnipeg. No. That's in the Western Conference. We're talking Stanley Cup, babe. The next one, or is it not allowed to see it? Thank you, MJ. He says, here we go. Which past band would I have loved to see in Prince? Prince. Dana says Ronnie Van Zant, right? Oh, Patel, yes, Cinderella too. I worked with a guy that played drums for the Scorpions. He was the fill-in drummer, and every once in a while he'd have to fill in while they were doing a show. Whenever he would walk into work, we would all go, rock me like a hurricane. He didn't think it was funny. Oh, the Beatles, right? Yeah, for me, it would be Prince. Yeah. MJ, Beatles, John Lennon, George Harrison. Yeah. Tom Petty's a good one, Andrew. That's a good one. You saw Prince twice? Yeah. Oh, so who's my favorite character on The Simpsons? Oh. That's a tough one. Thank you. Come again. Boo was pretty good. He was pretty good. I mean, Homer, obviously, right? Yeah. I'm trying to think of the names of them. I wasn't all that crazy about the boss. He was all right. Oh, yeah. Okey-dokey name. Yeah. They can't have Apu on the show anymore? Jeez. You saw Petty 7 or 8 times. Fantastic. Oh, the mamas and the papas and the monkeys. Now we're going back to even my dad's age. Ned Flanders. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Wiggum. Yeah. Oh, man. Ralph Wiggum's like the original Cartman a little bit, right? A little bit. You think they took a little bit of Ralph to make Cartman? Mo, Mr. Burns apart. Yeah. Ain't that right? That's not what I meant to do. Marvin says it's funny how Marchand continues to haunt Toronto. Kind of like how Tavares is still haunting the Panthers. It's not the same lore, obviously, because the Panthers haven't been as involved. But boy, when Tavares is, he always eats against the Panthers. Real says Ralph isn't a complete psycho like Cartman. Yeah, I like Cartman's original voice. I could never get into him after they changed his voice. I am a lost little boy. Can you help me? The Sally Struthers episode. Oh, my God. Where she's hiding all the cheesy poofs. Yeah, David, that's the one. That's what I was thinking. The bully kid. I said, ha ha. Yeah. Hey, thank you, MJ. Oh, which season of The Simpsons was the best? Oh, God, that one I don't. That's going to have to be a question. I mean, the early ones were pretty good. I haven't watched them in years. It's still going, right? Martin says, I need another magical performance from Marchand tomorrow. No doubt. You knew he was going to do it, right? I mean, he's the best player on the ice for us right now. It's just his energy, his vibe that he's really helping the fact that Tkachuk is like MIA out there, right? Marchand's really bringing what Tkachuk did the first year before he got busted in half by Kolazar. That's what we're getting from Marchand right now. Yeah, he's saving us for sure, no doubt. Yep. Anything pre 9/11 Simpsons was excellent. David says when Marshy gets the puck, the Leafs get nervous. He's in their head. That's an interesting perspective, but you're probably not wrong. Probably not wrong there for sure. Yeah. Kind of like the Bills playing the Chiefs, you know what I mean? A little bit there. Hey, NHL, how am I feeling after the overtime thriller? Well, I already took one nap. I'm probably going to take another one here at some point in the afternoon. But no, we're good. It had to happen, right? If we go down 0-3, this is a we start writing the eulogy together, right? Like if we go down 0-3, we don't place the obituary yet, but we're writing it. Oh, David, you prefer Family Guy? I never was able to watch a whole lot of that. I never was able to watch. I was raising kids and everything. And it was kind of when I stopped watching TV. Mo the bartender, man. Yeah, Marvin, hoping we can clean up the odd man rushes. I think we've got it figured out. It's keeping two men back is what, for the main part, we needed to do. Marvin says, I have no demons for Marchand. No? Interesting. Coots says, does the goal mean Verhaeghe can bring his swag back? He needs a snipe. He needs a snipe when we need a goal to get Swaggy back, I believe. His shot percentages have been so bad. Yeah, South Park. South Park was crazy. The earlier ones, I mean, they're still good. But when that show first happened, now the funny thing about South Park was that we had a rule in my house when I lived, with my ex-wife and the kids were young. And the rule was anybody was allowed to say anything in the house if it was from a movie or a TV show. Okay? Anything, whatever it was. If you had a smart-ass comment, if the line was from a movie, it was acceptable, no matter what. So that allowed me to walk around the house singing the Kyle's Mom is a Big Fat Bitch song. And she couldn't say anything. It's allowed. Totally legal. Totally legal. It's a true story. Oh, man. Yep. Good old South Park. Bob's Burgers. Yeah, that's an old one, too. Cartman has some good ones, man. I remember seeing the movie. It was just like, holy crap. American Dad. That's another good one. Oh, Simon, I mean, I would have to just roll with Stewie. I can't even count on one hand how many Family Guy episodes I've watched. I just never, by the time that happened, I was knee deep in work and raising kids and everything like that. Rick and Morty was, my dad liked Rick and Morty. When the kids were young, they'd spend the weekends at my parents' house, sometimes Friday nights. And they'd watch Rick and Morty, and my dad would get a kick out of that. Hey, Dietrich. Did I see any specials that came out during the pandemic? No. I was living with Karen at that point, and it wasn't her style of humor. She was a little bit too uppity for that style of humor, and so I guess I didn't end up watching it. What time we got here? Yeah, South Park. I've seen. Oh, good. We're late. That's good. Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of the COVID special. That was a weird time, man. Such a weird time. Marvin says, I think Kachuk's injury is still bugging him for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt. He's given us what he's got. I mean, nobody can doubt the man. But whenever a serious season is over, he's going to have surgery. And honestly, we just need to lock him away somewhere where he just gives his body a whole year off. It'll never happen. He'll probably rush to try to be ready for game 1, but I hope not. He needs to sit the whole year, no Olympics, nothing. Just rest your body, man. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to get ready to roll. Much appreciation, all the super chats, everybody hanging out. Thank you all. You guys are what makes all the. Oh, we got one more from MJ before I roll here. Says, thank you, buddy. Which Panthers player should get their own TV show? Marchand, right? You see Kachuk. You say Kachuk. Marchand. For me, Luongo. I know he's not a player, but Luongo's got that dry sense of humor a little bit. Barkov would be a good straight man on a TV show. Like Marchand and Barkov as a cop show. Marchand and Barkov as a cop show. And police, right? They're partners. That could have some legs to it. That could have some legs to it. Anybody else? Trying to think. Can't have Ekblad. He's too serious. Borzing's too serious. Schmidt would be a good guest. Schmidt could be like the chief. Schmidt's the police chief, and Barkov and Marchand are the cops. And Barkov's this big, strapping, serious dude, and Marchand's the little guy that's always trying to get them into trouble. Yeah. Yeah, Schmidt, he's got, he's ball. He could easily age into the chief role. Yeah, and he's funny. Yeah. The shtick would be that Schmidt pretends to be all serious when they're around, but then when Barkov's not around, Schmidt will get Marchand to tell him to do things that's going to get Barkov going, right? And Barkov tries to get mad and angry about it, but he's just so serious and so dry that you never know if he's really bitching and complaining or if he's trying to be funny as himself. Yeah. Yeah, Rodriguez got a good personality too. Chucky, yeah, Starsky and Hutch, right? Then Schmidt and Eck would be doing blue chews in the back of the police station. Oh, poor Chucky. Yeah, poor Ekblad's never going to live that down. He's never going to live it down. All right, everybody, I got to go. I'm going to get some lunch, sit with Donna for a few hours. We will be live tonight for Caps and Canes. Okay, just everybody bring a blanket. Bring a blanket because okay, I feel bad for Donna. We get to watch our team just be exciting, and she has to watch 2-1 boring hockey every night. But we'll be there. We'll have some fun. We'll see if we can get Kyle drunk. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for all the love. And we will see you in a few hours. Yeah, 4.5 hours.